Mitch Marner and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Time to say goodbye? Welcome to Leafs News Fan Report. What's really going on with Mitch Marner? Will he stay in Toronto, or is he about to embark on a new journey? Are the rumors about a possible destination already hinting at his next team? Over the past few months, uncertainty surrounding Marner's future has sparked heated discussions among fans and analysts. The negotiations between the player and the franchise seem like a chess match, and with each passing day, the sense of a deadlock grows stronger. But is there a team ready to make a move and secure the Leaf star? According to an NHL analyst, Marner may already have one foot out of Toronto, and a very intriguing destination is starting to gain traction: the New York Islanders. Why would the Islanders be a strong contender for Marner? Here are some factors that make this scenario very realistic. Connection with Lamoriello. Islanders' current GM, Lou Lamoriello, worked with Marner in Toronto and has a history of valuing players he trusts. Personal relationship with Matt Martin. Marner is very close to Matt Martin and his family and has spent several summers in Long Island. This could be a significant factor in his decision. Opportunity to be the star. In Toronto, Marner has always played in Auston Matthews' shadow. With the Islanders, he could be the face of the franchise, something that might be extremely tempting. Roster moves. The Islanders are looking for a key player to take them to the next level. With Brock Nelson's departure, there's both cap space and a roster spot available for a player of Marner's caliber. Chance to shine. With a lineup that includes Anders Lee, Bo Horvat, Simon Holmstrom, and Maxim Tsiplikov, Marner could finally hit the 100-point mark in a season, something that has always eluded him in Toronto. And to add a poetic twist to this potential move, wouldn't it be interesting to see Marner making the opposite journey of John Tavares? The former Islanders icon left the team to join the Maple Leafs 7 years ago. Now we might see one of Toronto's biggest stars heading to Long Island, closing an unexpected cycle. The big question is Marner ready to say goodbye to the Leafs? With each passing day, the chances of a contract extension seem slimmer. If a trade happens, there's no doubt that the Islanders will be one of the top contenders to get the deal done. What do you think? Should Toronto hold on to Marner or move on? Leave your comment and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay updated on the Leafs. What could Toronto get in a trade for Marner? If the Leafs truly decide to move on from Mitch Marner, the big question is, what can they get in return? After all, we're talking about one of the most talented players in the NHL, an exceptional playmaker, and a key piece of Toronto's offense in recent years. If Toronto opts for a trade, the franchise has a few strategic options. Go for an immediate return with established players or focus on the future, accumulating draft picks and young talents. If the Islanders are indeed the destination, a potential trade package could include Noah Dobson, a young and talented defenseman who would strengthen the Leafs' blue line. Alternatively, a combination of picks and players could help Toronto stay competitive while reshaping the roster. However, there's also a scenario where Toronto keeps Marner until the end of his contract and lets him test free agency. But that would be a risky move, as it could mean losing a valuable asset without getting anything in return. Does Marner need a fresh start? While Toronto has been his home since the start of his NHL career, maybe Marner needs a new environment to reach his full potential. As mentioned before, he has always played in Matthews' shadow, and moving elsewhere could give him the space to be the main star of a franchise. Additionally, the Leafs are at a crossroads. They have a talented core, but one that has repeatedly failed in the playoffs. Significant changes might be necessary to finally take the team to the next level. If moving Marner is the price to bring more balance to the roster, should Toronto take that risk? And, of course, there's the salary cap factor. Marner carries a heavy contract, and freeing up that cap space could allow the Leafs to strengthen other areas, like defense and depth scoring, two critical aspects the team needs to fix if they want to seriously contend for the Stanley Cup. The end of an era in Toronto? With every new rumor, it feels more and more like Mitch Marner's days in Toronto are numbered. The final decision hasn't been made yet, but the Leafs management will need to act fast to prevent this situation from dragging out through the offseason and disrupting the team's plans. Now, I want to hear from you. Should Marner stay in Toronto, or is it time for a new chapter? If you were the Leafs GM, what would be your move? Leave your opinion in the comments and subscribe to Leafs News Fan Report to stay updated on all the latest Leafs and NHL news. If I were the Leafs GM, if I were Toronto's GM, I'd have to face reality. Mitch Marner is an incredible talent, but if the Leafs want to take the next step towards Stanley Cup, something has to change. Marner is an elite playmaker, one of the best passers in the NHL, and his chemistry with Austin Matthews and William Nylander has been one of the team's cornerstones. But here's the issue. This formula has had enough time to work in the playoffs, yet the team keeps hitting the same wall. Looking at it objectively, can the Leafs win without making sacrifices? If Toronto wants to compete now, they need a more balanced roster. The last few years have made it clear that investing too much in just four offensive stars, Matthews, Marner, Nylander, and Tavares, while neglecting defense and goaltending, isn't working. If the Islanders truly want Marner, the trade needs to bring a significant return, either a top-pairing defenseman or a reliable goalie. Without that, holding on to Marner until his contract expires could be a massive mistake, as they risk losing him for nothing in free agency. Now, as a fan, Marner's possible departure leaves me torn. Part of me doesn't want to see him go, because finding a player as talented and creative as Marner isn't easy. But at the same time, I can't help but wonder, how many more chances will this core get? It's always the same story. A solid regular season, high playoff hopes, and then the same disappointment. If the team wants to win, maybe this trade needs to happen. What do you think? Should Toronto stick to the plan and give this core another shot, or is it time for a major shakeup? If you were the GM, would you keep Marner or trade him? Drop your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to Leafs News Fan Report to stay on top of all Leafs and NHL updates.